I was damn stressed. I lost sleep the entire night. And that guy is Candace's.
What we got today?
Welcome to another episode of Get Fat.
Today, quite special. We are not in a hawker center or a restaurant.
It has been about a year. Okay?
The year plus lah.
Okay, I want to get the elephant out of the room first. Okay? Obviously, this is a lot based on like what we did at Food King, but we have a lot of changes. We did a lot of our own elements and flair inside, including like bringing on guests, having our leaderboard. So we are still trying to figure out what is the best way to improve our show. So this will also mark a season break.
Finally. I also realized after so many episodes, we had never really introduced ourselves. Or the Get Fat team.
Right. Oh yeah.
How about we do a self-introductory of everybody?
Okay.
Starting with you lah.
Okay. My name is Ryan.
Wow. Hi, Ryan.
So I'm the main host of the show. What else do I do here? Nothing much. I came out with the show lah. And then I also introduced to you who's behind the camera. So we have Avery, our head of production. We got Faye and Chinwai is the editor and videographer, right?
Yes.
And then we also got Christine as the assistant producer.
The one that Candace says she's 30 plus.
Yeah. Based on the team lah. Right.
我的地方大。
29, 30.
Of course, we got Charmaine, our main producer for Get Fat, and then Ben and Nigel. Ben and Nigel, I don't know what they do.
Nothing. Just come on the show and eat. Not very difficult. Just eat.
When I eat, then done already.
Okay lah.
Then the show finish.
They always talk down on themselves, but the truth is, before we start hosting, right, they will be shooting the food, loading the logistics, and Nigel is also the assigned driver.
Yes. Unfortunately.
So what Ryan said, right? 90% of the things I do, the 10% the eating, then Ben.
Yeah.
I didn't get what that means.
So on today's episode, we'll answer some of your burning questions. Today, we are going to let you know everything.
So I'm going to start with the questions. And the first question, since it's a food show, right? So this question, like a few people ask this question. My mother asked, how to lose weight since you're always eating? And how much weight did you guys gain? How are you coping with the weight gain?
I start with Ben first. I think Ben is the only one that put on weight.
Honestly, with or without a show, I'll put on weight. How much weight did I gain?
When you attempt to lose weight with me, you go gym. On the weighing scale, it says that you are like 85 lah.
Now about 89.
40 episode, 4 kg. Every episode 100 gram only.
Quick math.
Go back.
As the only person that lost weight doing this show is because after so many years of doing right, I learned how to control it.
And you also cut down sugar drinks.
I also cut down
Actually, the
sugar
killer is sugar drinks.
drinks.
So the next question, how long is usually needed to film one place?
Actually, the setup is quite intense. The A-roll takes about an hour, the one where we host and talk. Then we have to take the
B-rolls
shots of the food, which is called B-rolls. And that usually takes about 2 hours. So that's 3 hours on average.
So the next question, do you all film one episode in a day and eat everything? Looks like a lot of food.
It looks like a lot of food, but doesn't mean I can't handle it.
With you around, each episode we do 3 plays, right? The 3 plays is all shot in the same day.
But to be very honest, it's also because we don't want to drag across 2 days. That's 2 working days and we also need to edit. So there's lesser time to edit.
But I want to say something.
Yes.
When you all come and apply the job at Overkill, right? I got interview you all and I say our work days is 5.5 days. Saturday is normally need to work. But I say if there's nothing on, then don't need.
Correct.
So I gave them Saturday half day. You can go shoot with B-roll. Then go home early.
Never mind.
So don't complain.
No complain. You complain.
Happy to do it.
There are exceptions like for example, if the shoot drag too long, it gets to night time. Then our B-rolls look at night. Doesn't make sense. So maybe we'll replenish with like an extra 2 hours the next day. We go back and shoot again. That's at most lah.
Rare. So the next question is kind of similar, these 3 questions. How does Get Fat team always find new places to explore? How do you all find all the good food? And how do you decide what kind of food to shoot for each episode?
Right.
This is a question for the producer.
No, but I think most of the good food, right, also come from Ryan. Because Ryan goes hunt for new food place every
Go
time,
hunt.
right? Yeah,
不是
go for
ghost
food
hunt.
hunt.
我不是 sticky sushi.
go for food hunting, right?
Basically, we don't have work, right? I will go out and find new places to eat. Then if I find something I like, I will recommend them. But during weekdays, the producers is also tasked to go out to find food.
So we will recce and try if this is very good, is it unique, and like is it a wow to us? If it's not very wow, cause we go to a lot of shoots, so we already eat like all the good food, so our expectation is like up there.
越来越高了. But I got a question. I never see both of you recommend us any place to eat at all.
They are selfish people, they want to get
Oh, you always get here, huh?
I got recommend.
Where?
Yanji seafood.
Everybody know lah.
It's my childhood food. Okay, to be very fair, I don't think I'm a foodie. I don't go explore or like go Google and search like where is nice and I'll go and try. I'm not that kind of person. And before I met Ryan, my food really just 那几个. And Yanji wasn't happens to be my top.
In your routine lah.
Because Yanji is my childhood food. So that's the only thing I can recommend.
For the next question, who is truly the most fun on the team? And how many members are in your team? The typical setup of our team is about 8 or 9 people lah.
Including the producers lah.
Yeah lah.
And the crew lah.
Yeah. Now the question to ask you all, who is the most fun?
Okay, how about we vote?
1, 2, 3.
Titus.
Chinwai.
Everybody say wrong.
Christine and me, we voted for Chinwai and Titus.
No, cause Chinwai like don't want to be here. But that's why it's so fun.
Chinwai got golden nuggets of quotes.
Like peanut sauce.
You look like peanut.
I vote Titus because Titus, it looks very scary.
Yeah.
He don't appear a lot in front of camera. But I tell you, Titus is the host of Overkill. He's the content one, I tell you.
Only behind the camera.
Only behind the
Nobody
camera.
get to see though.
You know yesterday what he say?
What?
Nigel want to take off. Then he
Oh,
say,
I told him, I said, do you take the B rolls? He said, yeah, I take off 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, take off.
I don't know what you're talking.
The next two questions is quite similar. Who is your favorite guest and who is one guest you didn't enjoy having? Let's start with your favorite guest, easier lah.
Actually, really very tough because like most of them are really nice. Who did I really make friend out of it is only Xiao Qian. Yeah, Xiao Qian is really someone who we still like texting even though it's not about shoot.
But she forget me.
Yeah, she always tries very hard to forget about this.
Hey, you! I introduced you to him one.
Also, she actually have a message for us.
我不想读，不想听。
How about you read lah? Since you're your best friend lah.
I will read in exactly how she was saying.
Hey, 过分.
From Xiao Qian. Thank you for feeding me all the time. I've gained 1 kg since joining you guys. Please continue to feed me and introduce amazing food in SG to everyone. May your video huat and your pockets be fat.
这里写 ChatGPT.
Generated by ChatGPT. Sent from iPhone. Nigel was a guest, what? NTU episode. You were a guest, what? Just that you're the longest running guest.
Longer running guest.
To be honest, all of them normal.
I thought he quite tight with John.
I don't like him, he's my worst guest.
My favorite guest has never changed. Always Chef Bob. It's not because the others not good, but Chef Bob is truly passionate about food. This is what this show is about. It's all about food. Chef Bob. Yeah, truly my favorite guest.
Talking about him, he have a message for us.
Hey Ryan and Ben and everyone that get fed.
Everyone
Congratulations
that get
on the
fed.
first year anniversary. Whoa, such a milestone, babe. Hopefully, 100 more years to come. And please keep on discovering more local foods around Singapore, especially the halal ones, right? I had fun with you. Hopefully I can see you again and hopefully I can go on board on Get Fed again.
Of course.
In the near future. Again, congratulations on the first year anniversary. Bye-bye.
So nice. My hair stand.
Why?
No, I
You
feel
really
very
love
touched.
Chef Bob.
Now, I feel like we're really celebrating her.
Now you just feel like Charmaine's 21st.
Wow, Chef Bob, of course, we'll explore more halal food because of you.
Yes,
In
yes,
fact, on the previous leaderboard, 4 or 5 was halal food. I hope you'll come back to our show.
Okay, so for my favorite, it's a tie between Xiao Qian and John. Because John and I, we are close friends ma. But his food tastes really not that good. I think his food tastes a bit, I'll say basic.
Subjective.
Basic. Yeah.
So as a producer, I common know your answer already. John also have a message.
Shit. John, sorry John.
We got 2
还有
fatties here
pet
to wish you all a very, very happy first anniversary. The next time you all invite us, please make sure you got aircon.
And make sure you don't make fun of my husband.
Don't make fun of me.
Please.
Just
very
tell
handsome.
Good food, don't play with my hair. Then don't want Nigel.
Got hear he say don't want Nigel.
Don't like John.
I never do anything.
Now, who is your least favorite? Let's start with you lah.
This one I quote this is me and Christine.
I like how you always drag Christine.
每次丢我想
Producer right, team one.
Really?
This person look really nice in camera and even in front of you guys. Behind the camera, right, actually quite arrogant and and really it's not very pleasant. And very tough to get the message, like getting a God message.
Is that
Way easier.
My least favorite guest of 2023 to 2024 is it's not like I don't like this person. Chemistry on camera. It was the worst chemistry I had with anybody. The shoot felt very awkward.
Right.
So the things the person say, I couldn't react or I don't know what to say back.
Which brings me to my least favorite, right? Most of the guests is I invite.
Wait, can I guess?
What's your guess?
Sherilyn.
My answer to this, right? You might say it's very PR, but you listen first, okay? I will say that I'm fine with all. However, there was one that I was very stressed about.
I know already.
I will say the name. This one don't even need to say that. I was damn stressed. I lost sleep the entire night. And the guy is Candace's. You're not hearing my contact.
No. Just TikTok.
Just cut.
But before I met him, I was very stressed. I don't know what to talk to him about.
It's the generation gap.
Inside the car, we start chatting, right? Like I didn't know that actually he's a little bit different from what I see online. He's not as flamboyant, I guess.
Flamboyant.
Yeah, he actually like quite serious one. He talk about serious stuff. I swear you in my like 12 years in this industry, I had never more stress shoot. And he might not know lah, but Candace, if you are watching this now, you know I was damn stressed.
He was.
But I really enjoy my time with you. In fact, you are one of the more memorable guests.
Actually, yeah, because I think you were one of the more real ones.
Yeah.
Your personality was just
Yeah.
You really just do whatever. What the you want? You eat how many ball of rice a day? And we love it. We love it.
I love it.
But you still can make the TikTok lah. Just go and make.
Later he angry. He angry because he said it. The next question. Are your recommendations personal recommendations or paid?
This one. No, I always tell my friends lah. There's one way to know whether the food is sponsored.
If your left hand raised 2 fingers means it's good.
No lah. When there's a promo code.
Yeah. Typically, if there's a promo code, there's sponsored. But however, I want to make this clear. They have to agree that we will remain honest with our opinion. If it's not good, right, you cannot say, I don't want this video to be uploaded or redo or what. We don't allow that.
I think with very clear conscience that I can say that throughout all the food, be it sponsored or not, right, our reviews are the most genuine.
Yeah.
If we don't like it, we don't straight up say like, hey, your food is shit.
Yeah, we can't say that because we have to be responsible. Later, the entire place 倒闭.
Because I say your food like shit.
Yeah.
But we give suggestions where you can make it better. And then we always say what? Go and try.
Yeah, go
you try that you know what? I know what you like. I don't like cheese what? You like cheese what? Means you correct, is it?
I don't like bitter gourd. You also like bitter gourd.
I tell you how I feel, how the taste tastes like, and I feel like it can be better in this certain way. Then okay lah. I think a lot of people have this misconception that sponsored food means shit. No lah. I mean, some people they just want to get their brand out.
Then you all 一边讲 support the F&B industry in Singapore or is dying, hawker culture is dying, let's protect it. Then the 另一边 they do marketing, you all say sponsored food is shit. Not honest.
Correct. I think you all are like the
So for this one, right, everyone keep asking us, are you hiring anyone for the team? Can I join your team?
Okay.
This question, it's a very confusing question. Let me explain to you. We have been getting this question for quite a while now, right? Quote our head of production. You keep asking that, you apply that, you ask for what?
Exactly. This volume.
To add on that, right, I also got a weird question to ask the audience.
Yes.
You all don't like us to do sponsored and paid content, and then you all want us to hire. We pay you with what?
With likes, comments, and share.
Yeah, we like, comment,
That's actually how we survive. Every time you all give me one, I get one chicken rice.
Every time you subscribe, my pay increase $1.
After this episode, our subscriber go down, you all pay me money back, right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's how it works.
No, actually, we go and find a subscriber that unsubscribe and take the money back.
So ultimately, right, this is still a business, okay? We also have to find a source of income, of revenue, and in order for that, right, we need your support. Then only we can hire. At the same time, we are really also hiring.
So to answer your question, we are hiring content producer, crew intern, and sales exec. So if you are keen, you can email to the emails below here.
Yay! And even if you watch this video in the future, you can just send your resume. Even if our company is currently not hiring, right, I have other companies that might be hiring.
Boleh try, boleh tahu.
Boleh try, boleh tahu.
Kali try, hari-hari mau.
Is Ben okay with Ryan or the guest fat shaming him? Okay, this question, right, I feel there's a lot of comments keep saying like, can you stop fat shaming Ben? See, he cried already.
Actually, when I go home, I got tell my mother.
After every get fat shoot,
Go counselling.
he will cry.
Then why you still fat?
I got go the life coaching. No, okay, to be fair, I believe in one thing.
If you can dish it, you must be able to take it.
Yeah. And he is someone that can take it. And to be very fair, actually, in the early days when I first started being for camera, he every day asked me, hey, you sure you okay?
Yeah,
Like,
legit every
like-
time at night I will text him, bro, you sure you okay?
not just at night lah, you got like, in office also, you're like, hey, if you can't take it, you must tell me.
Yeah. Every time I inch to the next level, I was like, hey man, you get up.
And then I don't know when he start asking. Whether Ryan or other guests, actually sometimes some people take it too far, too forced, you know. I'm not blaming you, props to you because you want to create content, but sometimes it makes it awkward. Then a bit weird. I'm not affected by it. The comments I got read, some really quite funny. No, hell, because of this, I also learned something. That I should never do the B-rolls using hand one. Because got this. He say, because I use my hand to open a pao. He say, why got 2 pao there?
See this hand.
You will never see this in any video anymore. Okay.
You must catch up. Also, I have to say, right, if you want to do this type of jokes, right, you have to be reasonably close with the person.
If you next time you see me on the street, you say like that to me, I won't laugh.
Right.
Hey, you the hand with the power.
So next, what's the most memorable episode or thing that happened at a shoot?
First episode.
Oh, when we go JB.
I think that was the episode where we were trying a lot of things. It was a new series, but at the same time retaining the idea of an old idea, right? And that's where the crew, the producer, all we decide to go to JB for something new. And when we went there, it was quite a lot of fun actually.
The jam wasn't very fun though. The jam was like 4-5 hours, bro.
Correct. The shoot
We
started.
went in the wrong day because it's a PH for Malaysia, right?
Yeah.
We ended the shoot like 5, but we only reached Singapore at 11.
Yeah.
The traffic is so standstill, right? I remember he was so jammed, right, that he left the car, he went to a restaurant to pee, and he come back, right, the car's still there. The car not over. He can pee. Yeah, he still got time to pee.
So what are the difficulties you face as a host or producer or crew? Actually, we face a lot of difficulties like everywhere. I think sometimes it's when we want feature like some places, then the owners don't let us to feature one. Like even though how we beg.
我聽過他 back 嘅，我聽過他 back。
Hey, I forward the recording to Ryan to prove that I really beg to the owner.
I never say anything She just tell the 老闆，老闆，這個是我第一份工作，等一下我老闆炒掉我，你可以給我拍。She sent me the whole I got the voice. 我 serious But I never say I never say I will fire her. I never say
求求你啊，让我们拍摄你的地方啊！求求你，老板，这是我第一份工作，不然等下我老板骂我，我就完蛋了。
So this question is quite hot lah.
hot
Weather
Don't
very
remember.
hot.
Can you share what happened back then for GAHE?
哇，假如整到 hot 了，我流汗了，流奶汗了。
For context, for people who don't know, we went to this coffee shop. There's a Korean store in it,
Correct.
and we feature it,
Yeah.
and we absolutely love the
Yeah.
food. So after we feature that store, we made it to leaderboard. It's quite high. I think it was top 3.
Yeah, top 3.
And after that, they suddenly got bashed.
Yeah.
Like in the Google reviews,
lot of people
they were
make it.
saying like the food is like shit, the location is bad. There were comments that there
They
were
never even
reviews
try.
that they were saying like, oh, the location is hot.
Yeah.
I think right, this one is
There was
ew. Location not his problem, is it?
No, there was one even more ridiculous. There's a lot of constructions around.
No, there was one even more ridiculous. He went there, he comment on the Korean shop, but he eat the chicken rice at the coffee
Yeah.
shop. Then the chicken rice not nice, right? He say it's a
Yeah.
Korean food shop.
So this is like a you.
This one is a double.
Yeah. So I was really very angry because they were a sweet elderly couple
Correct.
and they were old lah. There's just 2 of them only.
And I also have to say,
Yeah.
that one not even sponsored.
Yeah, not
Or
sponsored,
paid.
not a
We
client.
genuinely went there and tried, and then we're like, this food is.
Yeah. And not only that, they are actually very authentic. Because when we
Correct.
go Korea, right, the taste is really a lot
Oh,
more tart.
yes.
So 是你们不会吃。
I think 是
Ah.
你们的问题。
I was really damn pissed, so I posted all these stories, which was very aggressive.
It was a little bit too aggressive.
I was really raging at home.
Even worse, they came and apologized.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they apologize to you, right?
They can't apologize to us like sorry for the inconvenience or the hoo-ha.
If anything is we inconvenient, then
I feel bad. In fact, it's because like we brought the exposure to them. Then I didn't take in account that they couldn't maybe cannot handle the exposure.
Correct. Because of that, I tell you, you better go and try GAHE now.
Yeah. Then you cause another second source.
After this release 3 weeks after you go.
So GAHE owner also gave us a message. We can read it out.
Wow. Okay, like
So long. Congratulations on the first anniversary of Get Fed. I am truly grateful. Thank you for letting so many people know about my remote little store. You see?
Aiyo.
My food is now widely recognized and loved by people. Wow. Thanks to you, your loyal fans are incredibly friendly and patient. Means all those that comment probably not.
yeah, probably not fans. Probably my hater lah.
The fans start with F, they also start F. They
I would like to express my most sincere gratitude to them here. I want to thank them for their support and understanding, and we also deeply appreciate the tremendous impact that Overkill has had on the general public. We will continue to work hard. This one then not ChatGPT.
Correct.
So it's sent from the heart.
Send from the heart.
Send from the heart. I felt it. I felt it.
This ChatGPT.
It's our last question already.
Oh, great.
If you can change one thing about Get Fed, what will you change?
Then
The 3 holes. Change to Aiken.
I want to change.
Why? They cannot hear. Say louder.
Aiken and Deacon. Why?
I mean,
Why?
It's the elephant in the room. Okay,
Yeah.
I said many times already. Obviously, a lot of people always ask me this. I would love to work with them again, but 不是我不要，是他们不要。So it's not me. Okay, you want, you ask them. Don't ask me. No choice lah. I have to make do with this two. Aiken 2.0, Decosh 2.0. There's nothing I want to change except for changing our release date for Saturday to Friday. Friday we'll release on Friday 3 p.m. Then after that, dinner time you all already can go try the places that we recommend. Saturday, Sunday also can
Still
go
got
try.
Saturday,
Just
Sunday.
like 3 places, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night.
See? Producer?
Aircon.
I thought you wanted to update your leaderboard.
Oh, our leaderboard. Halfway we stopped talking about
Okay, you know why no?
It got very confusing because the sequence of our shoots, right, is not in the sequence of the release.
Yeah, correct.
We could shoot with John this week and say Xiao Qian next week, but Xiao Qian video releases first.
Right.
You get what I mean? So it became very confusing.
And also, I think we also realized that it's a bit not fair for guests that appear later because we might have already forgotten the taste of the previous one.
Correct.
It just happened that you always take over, you know? The later guests will always take over. That is quite not fair for the previous guests.
So we found a solution to this.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So from now on, right, every 10 episodes we will do a recap of the previous 10 episodes and then rank it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Before the shoot happened, the producer asked us to choose our top 10. Before this, we never discussed.
Right. Because we all have different taste profile,
Correct.
right?
And now we have to officially do our leaderboard.
Correct.
For this leaderboard, it's of no sequence.
But before I say my top 10, right, I want to tell you all like what's my taste profile. Like. So I like noodle, I like spicy, I like local cuisine. Okay, so a lot of my choice will be hawker food. These places that I say, I confidently can tell you I went back 2-3 times or more.
Same.
Yeah. So Omar Thai beef noodle.
I have it.
You have it.
I don't have.
You don't have?
I prefer pork over beef.
Same for me, but Omar Thai beef noodle, what wins, right, is the broth. The broth is mother insane good. Shortly after we did the episode, right, the next day I messaged him. He said by 1 p.m. he closed. Then he go on off for the next 19 days. Yeah, he go overseas.
He was also the said owner that I went and warned him and saying like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
there's gonna be a search because immediately after the GAHE saga, right, it was his episode that we shot.
Okay, then the next one is Pondok Selera. The Mahito.
Man.
Oh, you have.
I
You hit lah.
Have
You got hit.
confirm hit. I tell you the
It's-
chicken rendang.
Okay,
That
so we
one-
3 hit lah.
We 3 hit. Because, hey, bro, even though I stay at Woodlands, if it's at Tampines, I will go there.
Yeah.
Every time after JB come back late, right, 1 year, I always go there.
Yeah, because it's open
it's open
until
till
very late, right?
Yeah.
And the consistency persists through the night.
Yes.
Correct. And I'm someone that really loves vegetables. I eat Thai food, I must have vegetables.
Can't tell.
No, but isn't vegetable healthy?
Yeah.
But that's the only place where I have to order all the meat.
Right,
because
right.
their meat, I tell you, 它的那个 roasted.
Roast chicken.
Walao
I love
eh.
the roast chicken,
And
dude.
the sambal sausage, the mai tua package, wow, that one's solid.
This one really must try.
Yeah, this one is very good. Okay, the next one. Surprisingly, because I actually eat this quite often, thanks to John. Hoa Ki barbecue beef noodle.
Wait, the East Coast one?
Yeah.
No,
Wait. I got reason. I agree with you all, right. That day we eat, right, the pork wasn't outstanding. And even John says so himself. But there are days it's very good. It's just not consistent.
Okay.
But it's not the only wanton mee on my list.
Hey.
The next one, this one, I hope it will appear on your list. Sansu Gong.
Yes.
Deep fried.
This one confirm. No, but this one only can go back one time. When you
Yeah, we have to go back.
Wow, the sea cucumber.
The one is Wow, cannot fight. The one really.
You know I went.
Is it on your list?
Yeah, it's over here.
You know when I went for a wedding, then they also serve sweet cucumber. Then you know when I eat it, I like, wow, the Samsung go through my mind. The B-roll play.
Next one, of course, we already agreed. Yakaya. I'm very sure it's all in
Confirm.
everybody. Everybody says
Standard. After eat food, must have dessert.
Yeah. The best thing is like every day we eat here, right? After that, go eat yakaya. It's correct one.
I disagree. If you don't eat all this, you eat akara, it's still correct.
Next, this one a bit peculiar because it never appear on Get Fat episode. It come out in the shorts. It's the Midas every touch is gold, the prata. I don't know you all again.
It's not in my top 10, but I do think that it deserves a try from you guys. Because one of the crispier prata I've eaten, and normally the crispy prata that I eat, right, it comes from those mama, you know, those alamin or...
And very oily.
But their curry is something that I don't like. I don't like fish or chicken curry. I mean their style kind, right? But the Midas one is the standard, the
Chinese type of curry.
Yeah. And it goes very well together. And Haman prata, right, is not just the plain one. Inside got the spring onion or something, and it gives a little bit of flavor.
Correct.
And that one is very special.
And they air fry it so that it's not oily.
That one even more surprising because it's a hidden gem. It's
It
located in a very, very popular area where there's a lot of good food.
Correct.
And I think that it should be one of those that deserves a long queue.
On that topic, right, in case you all don't know, right, we actually have Get Fat shorts that we got featured other places that is not on the main episode.
Yes, correct.
So be sure to check those out. Next, Golden Mile Hainan Fried Hokkien.
Yes.
This one is the one that you have to dabao.
Sadly, it's not mine.
Oh!
Sadly. You know why?
Why?
The Golden Mile right, is in my top 3. But there's other 2 right that still wins my heart.
Okay.
And one of it is you recommend. The other one is Ruru Sama.
Oh, actually, her Hokkien Mee was good. Yo, but I was contemplating between Ruru Sama's Hokkien Mee and the Golden Mile, right? Then there was one thing that made a big difference. Ruru Sama got no lard.
But still go down and try like this.
All 3 places.
All good,
Simon Road, Golden Mile, and Ruru Sama's Ang Mo Kio Hokkien Mee.
Yeah.
Solid.
Next, this one is an old favorite of mine, which is I still eat it. I just ate it yesterday. Beach Road prawn noodle.
Yes, also mine.
Wait, inside?
Yeah, inside. I like. Oh, solid.
Oh, 对你很失望哎。
Okay.
But something funny about the beach road prawn mee, right? I don't order the prawn mee at beach road.
I eat the pork rib.
Yes, I eat
Only
the
the pork rib. I don't eat the prawn.
I have to say that the Beach Road prawn noodle is probably one of the best that I've eaten also. Just not my taste profile.
Okay.
Not my taste.
My next one is Ji Wanton Mee, Zemet Wanton Mee. Go here lah. Hit.
I never eat. I wasn't there. Okay, maybe I will go and try after this.
Zemet's Wanton Mee hit the spot because to me it's the best one in Singapore.
Hands down, best in Singapore. No fight. Okay, you don't come and tell me all your cocky, all that. No.
I'm a very big fan of saying Malaysia food is better than Singapore food. I hands down agree that Malaysia's Wanton Mee is so much better than Singapore one.
Yes.
But this one,
Yeah.
I tell you, some can fight. I don't know what sauce they bring over.
I don't know, man.
And then we have tried a lot of Wanton Mee after that. Nothing came close to me.
My last one will be Xiao Qian Ban Mian.
Hey! Hit!
lah. I like that. I actually
Xiao
went
Qian
back
Ban Mian.
a lot of time, and my girlfriend loved Ban Mian.
Wait, you got hit or not?
Never hit. It's good, but
You know better Ban Mian?
no, I don't like soup ban mian. I prefer gam ban mian.
Whoa, wait.
I
You
like
don't like
chili
you,
ban mian.
No, I don't like soup ban mian.
But
this
that one is
Yes,
good. It's good. But I wouldn't like go crazy over it.
Wow, I went crazy over
I
it.
went crazy already.
But the reason why it's in my list is because ever since that day, I want to go back.
Oh,
I really want to go
I
back.
actually did go back.
It was very sad that it got kicked out of the leaderboard because she was one of the first person
Yeah,
that
that's why
started
there's
the leaderboard.
eventually, but-
Eventually, she got kicked out
Yeah.
because everybody started taking over,
Correct.
which is why we decided that hey, I think it's not fair.
Yeah.
We forget the taste. That's why. Then when we start to collect all the food places and we think about it, this China Whampoa homemade noodles really takes the cake. I still cannot forget.
Although a lot of people in the comments right actually disagree with us, they say that they went to another branch and then it's not nice. I don't know lah, but we went to the branch at Sengkang. That was great lah.
Who asked them? I love China Whampoa homemade noodle, and nobody can change my mind.
So that's all for my list. I hope you can relate. So Ben, what's your list?
The first thing other than yakayan that came into the leaderboard was this dish that I would never ever stop hyping. It's the one and only dish right that I recommend a lot of people, and it's the Zion Road Market Char-Kway-Teow.
Yes,
Zion.
that is in my list.
For me, I like flavor food.
Right.
I like flavor bomb.
Can tell.
That one.
Okay, actually I affected. So the moment I tasted Zion chao kway teow, right? Fuyo, I tell you. The wok hey, I tell you. Hey in my mouth, you know.
Oh, hey, your
It was so good, and it was so good to the point where right, I don't just introduce to my friend. When I take a Grab, like, sometimes the uncle talk to me, I will say like, uncle, 你驾这种东西你可以去 try 那个 Zion.
They will know lah.
No, some people don't know. I say like, hey uncle, 一定要 try. 你不 try 我刚才不要打你的 Grab.
How do you get understand that?
The second place,
I also know.
sure we will put inside one.
Oh, yeah.
Because this place has a special heart or a special place in GAHE. And it also starts with the letter G.
I know it.
GAHE Korean.
Yeah, my gahi is not
Hey, Gahi also inside here.
Hey, GAHE not
My
here.
gahi not here.
Wait, why?
Because I found better food that I like.
Cannot be lah.
Hey,
I really-
betrayer, hey!
No, wait.
Hey, you
listen.
never read the message so
Listen.
long just now.
Listen, I like gahi. I will still go back there. But the 10th place is very, very special to me one. All these places is my routine now. Like I will keep going back one. So gahi really got one problem for me. It's really very far.
So the next on my list is the prata shop that Trevor recommended. And why I liked it is because the sambal. That's very unique, and apparently
It's common in Malaysia though.
yeah. And not just that, not just the price point is very cheap. The prata, it's a definite hit. I'm gonna teh tarik.
I remember the teh tarik
Oh,
ball.
yo, the teh tarik.
Yeah.
Walao, that one is really sweet bomb.
Yeah.
But it's not the kind where you feel very like, oh, too much.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to siu tai. No. But at the same time, I do hear other people that told me that when they went there,
standard not there,
the standard not
Yeah,
as
yeah,
good.
yeah.
But they also got say that they ordered the teh tarik is iced one. The one that we had was hot one.
Yeah.
So maybe the hot one might be better.
Yeah.
Okay, after that, only two more that wasn't on.
Not a repeat lah.
Yeah, not a repeat. So the next one is Sing Henki porridge.
Oh, okay lah.
That one good.
I can agree, even though
That
it's not on my
one
list,
good.
but I agree because I still eat that.
Yes,
Yeah, that one
good.
is probably the best porridge I've eaten.
The you tell though.
The youtiao, it's changed so much.
youtiao.
Yeah, I can't believe when we go there and eat, right? We did ask for youtiao at first. Then I said,
Wow,
hey,
dude,
must order the youtiao.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
And it went on another level. And you know, porridge is meant to be something that's healthy.
Sick food lah.
Something that you eat when you're sick. Something that's bland. I tell you! This one flavor.
Flavor bomb.
Flavor. I don't know how. Kena left, right.
Yes.
And also, they don't have just like one standard plain porridge or minced meat porridge. They have like loads of selection.
瘦肉啦, don't know what kidney lah.
They even got the cuttlefish. All there are so many things for you to choose from.
Although, I have to say this, because now that I moved house, right, it comes from a different branch. I would say the original branch is still the best.
Hougang one lah.
Yeah.
Actually, my parents went to eat the Chongpang one. They say it's very salty also. So
Yeah.
I think the Hougang branch is still the original best.
Must be the Hougang one.
Correct.
Actually no more already. But I would like to put in some honorable mentions. These are the things that I didn't put in for certain reasons. For example, Ruru Sambal Hokkien Mee.
Okay.
Simon Road Hokkien Mee. We didn't feature this.
Yeah.
Ruru was on a Get Busy episode.
Yeah.
Simon is because I think we ate it too much and we talked about it too much. We never go and feature. So there's three other things that I would like to mention to you all that you all should go and try. First, this one is on Get Fat. It's Munchie Pancake.
Okay.
This one I think I never put in because it's nothing amazing.
Comfort food, I just think it's a comfort food.
But every time I pass by, I buy one.
That type, yes.
And also because their pancake, the outer is the crispy type. And I've mentioned this a few times. I think that pancakes you must eat the crispy one. And when you buy normal pancakes, sometimes you get the bad parts where they don't have the crispy one. This one every single slice have. So the next one is pine chicken rice.
Malaysia.
Because it's JB episode. So some people they don't really go JB often. I went back.
Oh, you went back?
I went back.
So wait. Whampoa noodle too far, but Malaysia JB far.
I stay Woodland. I go JB faster than I go Sengkang. And pine chicken rice, everything there kena.
Wow, now I'm very curious.
Oh, you really must try.
Really good.
It's really good. And their chicken rice, you can choose the upper, lower body part. And when you eat it, the meat really...
The chili solid.
The tenderness of the chicken, I tell you, kena. The chili. They even got the green one, you like? The green chili.
It's homemade one.
And me and Nigel always emphasize our chicken rice is the black sauce.
I
don't know why we don't really feature chicken rice in cafe if you realize. And this one really very good.
Okay.
I'm gonna try because it's Malaysia, so I didn't put it in my top 10. The last one, not in Get Fat, but this one must do.
What?
You confirm agree, right?
Your hand very fat, I can see. Wow, you blocking. Okay lah. This is my birthday cake every year. Of course I have to take lah. My birthday cake, but he eat more.
I eat his one also. The yam cake is not the carrot cake or what that you eat outside one. This one, wow, I tell you.
A leak by its own. It's very unique also.
It's very unique. And they put a lot of scallions, fried onions, chili.
The chili.
Walao.
The chili. This is one of my best chili that I found in Singapore. In a cake shop. In a cake shop.
Okay, sorry for forgetting that it's in the game special, right? This one, go top 10.
Wow!
I thought it wasn't a GAHE, that's why I put as
Right. You want to kick
If I
out?
kick out,
Wow! This is the eternal struggle of leaderboard.
don't force me lah. Hey, just
Yeah,
put it
it's
there lah.
his-
Let me
it's
hang
his.
it up. My top 11, please.
Okay.
So no one actually voted for classic cake, even yourself.
Oh, I never.
Because I eat it 20 years already
But no, tak kena.
Never kena.
Since it's tak kena for you, let us hear your kena
Hey,
list.
some people comment say my taste like
Boring.
boring,
they say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay lah, I agree lah. Sometimes I bleed like basic beach, right?
The more accurate is the beach. More of a beach than basic.
Then don't hear it, cut. My taste profile, actually, I don't really eat spicy food. I love Thai food.
Oh yes.
And I love local food. Okay, so most of my top 10 is quite similar to Ryan's.
Right.
Okay, so there are few that I never mentioned, right?
You're really excited.
Excited or not? Let me say the one that I will get a lot of hate on. Stir some shit, okay? Hot high out.
Huh?
You see?
No lah, but it's very popular lah.
I like, yeah. You all don't like, man? Dude, the fried potato, the fried fish, the fried lotus root, and then the creamy scrambled egg on mala. Nobody out there does it.
But-
they are the first one that do it.
Is it worth the queue for you?
I confirm, kill.
Actually, to be fair,
Hey, wait, let me tell you some context. There was one time after Get Fed, we came back office, we transfer footage, we hungry. If we hot out. I just say, if we stay at Pioneer, we go Pioneer never eat, okay? Hot out, we kill.
yeah, I was there.
You see?
Faye also there.
Kill, okay?
I agree.
Right.
This hot IL is a bit
The crispy potato, bro.
I got go back there eat a few times because near my house, man. But the queue really.
The queue just says it all already. So my next one, I think it's very underrated lah. But it's the Toa Payoh crispy chicken wing, right?
Oh, Dachi! Oh shit! I love that.
That one
I totally forgot about that, but it will have been
that
in my
one
list.
I go back like
I don't look
3,
at
4,
it.
5 times already.
Yeah. The queue is still, but
The queue, right, I tell you, before the guy even open, the queue already 排长龙. It's very simple dish. It's just crispy chicken wing, rice, dark soy sauce, and chili. That's it. But wow, that meal though.
the one-
Unforgettable crispy chicken wing rice.
unforgettable.
Sorry, tak kena.
Tak kena! Your face don't tak kena!
Cannot be. Wow, that one. I think that one damn good eh. You tak kena, play back the video. He finish everything on the plate.
Yeah, you did finish
Eating,
it. It's just you
eating,
forget. I think you forget.
Look, I did enjoy the meal. It didn't leave an
Okay lah,
impression for me.
To be fair, I really like that. And I really totally forget about it. But if I'm in the area, just definitely I will eat it. I confirm
Standard.
1000%.
Just now you say what? You will receive hate from Kuala. You receive hate from me for this one. I agree with you.
All the things different, right? Sure, we see here. Right? Never mind, it's okay.
Okay.
There's one right that didn't appear in Get Fed lah. It appeared in Get Busy.
Okay.
It's my girlfriend's pawpaw, the carrot cake. The Toa Payoh market fried.
I would like to give a shout out to.
What?
And that would be the wood mash. That was something that also blew my mind.
Right.
Just that, the price point is a little bit pricier.
Right.
It's a little bit more fine dining, but of course, not say super expensive.
Yeah.
Still affordable. And it's also one of the places that I want to bring someone there to eat.
Right.
Because even Chef Bob,
He had to
cannot-
wait 1 month.
no, he purposely come on our show so that he can eat it.
So that's it for our leaderboard. This is our final list. My top 10, Ben's top 10, and Nigel top 10. Take a moment to absorb this. Please do give them a try and let us know in the comments whether you enjoy them. Yeah.
For the love of God, please, y'all don't like also can say,
Yeah.
but don't leave Google reviews.
Sometimes when you all don't comment, we also don't know whether you all like it or not.
Yeah, I
we
don't
scared.
know. Yes. After like 1 or 2 weeks, then you all try. You still can comment. We will read.
Yeah, we will read.
I really read every single comment.
Yes.
I realized our comments quite quiet.
Yeah.
Especially the Yakayan girl that sat beside me. It was the mom that approached me and said like, oh, we watched your video, so we can. And I forgot to ask you, sorry, because I was too engaged with my friends.
Right.
Please let me know whether you enjoy Yakayan, because that is our absolute favorite dessert.
Okay, so we received some of the testimonial
Messages.
messages from our people that we feature. We go to speak down
Hey,
this,
it's for Yakayan.
We got from Yakayan, okay? Yakayan say to Team Overkill, Get Fed, and Ryan. We don't know each other and neither do we have any mutual friends. When Ryan contacted me and told me about featuring us, and I thought, how could it be? I myself have watched all episodes and never expected to have the chance to be featured by you guys. Thank you so much for featuring us and allowing your fans to and more viewers to get to know more about Yakayan. Taking this chance to say happy 1-year anniversary to the team and the boss. Wishing you a greater success and many more great years ahead. 一家人，哇，一家人 your heart.
Hey, in fact, I should be sorry that we didn't feature you
Yeah, we
earlier.
feature you too late.
In fact, we actually wanted to gatekeep. That's why we never.
No,
featured.
actually, we already found out about you guys like last year. Then I was like, wow, it's been long since I give a very outstanding, mind-blowing food. That we have to do it.
I will come back and busy you again. I love Yakayan, and I think to the day I die, this will be my ultimate.
In fact, when I die, you all want to buy offerings for me, just buy Yakaya. Just put it right.
Thank you so much for making such awesome design. The next one is from Gyushi.
The one we did with Xiao Qian.
We would like to take this opportunity to express our sincerest appreciation to the crew and host of GAHE. So the feature has been very influential to our business as we saw a 20% spike in the business sales. In the outlet sales, the hosts were very passionate about food and they managed to highlight the USP of our product alongside their good banter and chemistry. The crew behind the scenes were also very professional, from the producers to the videographers. And they truly mastered their craft. Thank you to the whole team of GAHE. Congratulations to your 1 year anniversary.
Feels very heartfelt appreciation for us, because I always feel the forgotten warriors like the editors, the crew, and the producers often don't get enough recognition.
Whatever we say, honestly, even at this show, we say a lot of things that don't make sense. We say a lot of things that are just rubbish. We're just speaking, right? But it's the editors that cut it
That
out.
makes sense out of it.
And then they make the whole video more entertaining. That's why it's so enjoyable.
Because sometimes we speak too fast, right? We don't even know what are we saying, or sometimes it just don't make sense. But the editors have to make sense of it. So thank you, Jia Ye, Evan, Faye, and all the editors. Thank you very much.
But
还有一个 but.
what is an anniversary celebration without a cake, right?
Happy birthday to GAHE. Happy birthday. That was you,
So it's GAHE 1 year.
This is the GAHE logo, and that is supposed to be right. But that is right with a lot of hair.
Way too much hair. Thank you for all the support, and thank you to the crew, the producers for helping make these 40 episodes, okay? And many more to come.
In fact, the most important person to thank is you, the watchers, the audience. Honestly, when we started GAHE, we didn't know whether this would really work out, because we were trying to do something different from the previous one, and it actually turned out very well. Our first 2 videos went quite viral, a lot of views. That's why without you, this wouldn't have gone.
Yes. So thank you for the audiences of GAHE. 是要吹的吗？
你吹啊，那个是你
一起吹啦，
一起吹
一起吹。我们喜欢做的。Okay. Okay, nobody's going in there because I feel like a lot of saliva coming.
It's the season. As a very special thank you to our audience, we have also prepared something for you guys.
If you all want to taste what we came up with,
we worked with Sour Bomb for a very special box just for you guys.
yeah, and this is not normally for sale one, right?
No.
Yeah.
So in collaboration, we have this box of 6 that comes with 3 flavors. We have the taro atapchi, cinnamon vanilla, and last, my absolute favorite, the durian.
Wow.
So this one is very special because Sour Bomb took many effort and many rounds of R&D before we decide to release this to y'all. You know, in fact, y'all wouldn't have seen this, right? But actually, for the past few months, they brought their product for us to try.
Actually, we have clip of it, like
really?
the genuine reaction when we first try it. And then we give like feedback.
We went through proper R&D.
Yeah. They keep making us try even though we so goddamn full already. That's why I think it's a great effort for them to come up with all this. It's not anyhow come up with one. I remember when we first started, we hated it. Not gonna lie, we didn't like it.
But then they gradually improve, take our feedback, and then they make it so much.
We were like, this one, I don't think we can release. And the reason why this is a box of 6 that is a 3 flavor, because we love these 3 flavor, we decide to give you 2 of each. These donuts are limited stocks. It's special just for Overkill fans, and you won't get to try in the future. So please go and purchase. But of course, how can we forget the promo code?
Of course, must have promo code.
We have this promo code for you to enjoy. What an exciting deal.
And not only that, right, when you receive the box, right, you will receive a card from us.
This card.
It has some message from us. To find out what is the message, you of course have to support us.
There's also stickers inside.
Yes, stickers.
Wait, this collab, like Easy Boost, this kind of collab.
Okay, easy boost like that.
You compare with Easy.
No, as in like, what
we
the hell?
donut.
And we also like to thank Renticulous for lending us their very beautiful studio to do this particular shoot. I think we got sick of our own studio. That's why we don't want to shoot here, is it?
No, we lazy set up.
They already have the equipment, the lights here.
When we come in,
and they also have 3 different concepts, okay? This is one of the concepts. There's 3 different concepts. If you want to rent, they got equipment, they got lights. So if you are interested to rent for your shoot, you can check in the description box below.
And with that, we have come to the episode. It's okay lah. It was for content so that y'all will like, share, and subscribe. As remember always to follow all our socials. Click here for more, and click here to what? Cut to the bloopers.
哇，sound like 30 years old。来，给个 beauty shot。beauty shot， 你懂什么？我呢，去你很美了。来嘞。
过来啊！
beauty shot。
Hello，